Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Forging Brains podcast. Today, we got a little bit different episode. We're going to start off with Gavin and I just kind of chatting it up, BSing a little bit.
Catching
and then
up.
we're going to have a special guest join us. Someone that's been a guest before. So we'll have them join up here in a bit. And the topic, I guess, we're just kind of discuss is Edgewood. Everybody, you guys just went to the contest and just... Not me. I'm a loser sitting at home.
There was a lot of people asking where you were and if you're going to be coming to the next one and stuff too.
I actually just messaged Craig yesterday and asked him about it. He said it's full, but he's like, man, you might as well put your name on the list. So I need to call in and
I got to do the same thing.
Get my name on there.
I guess kind of like a public service announcement. I kind of heard Craig say it a couple times. Edgewood filled up fast, full, but there was still a number of people that just didn't show up at all. Like, I know some called because they got sick, but I guess some people just didn't show up at all. So I know he said it'd be appreciative if you weren't able to make it, that you actually called ahead and let them know. So then those people that are waiting or wanted to get in can make it.
That's man, what a weird time of... So last time, before Edgewood, it was the first time, I'm pretty sure remember them saying is that it's the first time a WCB is filled up before the shoe list was even out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then this time, the fucker filled up before the one before was even over.
Yeah.
Like, even quicker.
It's insane.
Even quicker. And so that's like, dude, what a, like... I mean, the position we're in is like get on the list, hopefully, and just go.
Hopefully.
You just go not even knowing if you're going to get a fucking compete?
Just practice the shoes and then maybe
practice.
Something opens up.
Man, that'd be wild to not get to compete, though.
Yeah,
wouldn't
it would
it?
Be kind of a bummer. Bummer to put in the work and then not have it happen, right?
But weren't you on the wait list for Edgewood?
Yeah, and then basically I called and they're like, you're going to be on a wait list, and then it just worked out that I was able to get in there.
Yeah, so it's obviously it happens. It works out. People get...
Yeah, like I had a friend or whatever, and he got entered up beforehand or whatever, and then things came up, but he called and was like, I'm not going to be able to make it. Put me on for Fort Worth, but so then another spot opened up and somebody else was able to get in, but that was plenty early enough to kind of like anticipate going for somebody, right?
To like actually start practicing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess if I go, even if you don't know if you're going to compete, you're going to want to practice because it's hard.
It's hard to get motivated for that, right?
Dude, really hard. I didn't even fully think about that until right now. That's how it's going to be.
Like, I kind of feel bad for old Ben Lamos. Like, he had put a post on Facebook like, see you guys in Edgewood, going to be headed there. And then he got sick and wasn't able to go.
Dude, I've been talking to Ben quite a bit. And like, he was pretty, like, he was leading Cat 3.
Yeah.
And so he just had to come to this one and do good. And like, there's nothing, even though you could have won Cat 3 this time, even around, and he could have got second in the Cat 3, and he'd still be sitting.
Because he went to Madison, yeah.
Yeah. And so he'd be leading still.
Yep.
And then get to go to, and I don't know if do they still drop a score, even though there's only 3 events? Or is it just each one counts now?
See, I'm not totally sure on how those rules apply right now, just because I guess I've been out of it for a little bit, and it is kind of crazy that there's only 3 individual ones now or whatever that go towards. So I don't think they drop a score.
I don't think they do either.
That'd be only 2 contests or whatever, but...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But...
Three's not that many.
Although the AFT was, made from one contest for years as well, though.
Not anymore.
Not no more.
Not anymore.
Not no more.
Like, we might want to change this up. We might want to mix things up a little bit here.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, crazy times. The contest is that freaking popular.
Dude, I gotta say,
filling up.
it's super cool to like hear from all the people there that are supportive of the podcast, and everyone there. There were so many people there that were like, we love listening to you guys, and you guys kind of inspired us to go. So that's also cool to
That's
hear from the
wild.
listeners.
No, but I think we did pull down a little bit of the like. I was talking about this. I was on a different podcast the other day. It's a guy named Jeff Fetter. He's got a Full Blast podcast.
Oh yeah,
It's a good one. Like even if you like, he's a knife maker and stuff, but he's just a good interviewer.
mm-hmm.
And I was talking to like, I think one thing our podcast does is tear down a little bit of the magic too. You know what I mean? Of like, you see the shoes on the WCB list, and you see the people, and you're just like, man, like you just don't know how they break their day down, you know, or how they make it happen and everything. Well, then we get these guys on here that all do very good and go to all the WCBs there, and they break it down for them. They make it just like, well, here's the instructions. This is how you do it. It's really not that complicated.
They still run full-time businesses, and you know,
got families,
same guys
everything.
just as you or I.
Yeah. Well, better than me. They practice way more than me all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Same.
Something I need to get better at. I always like, man, it's funny. I follow Rachel Trunka, Bodie's wife, and she'll post every night. You know, they're like, Bodie goes to the shop and she goes to the gym. Like when they put, you know, they put the baby down, and they split off and go and accomplish their work for the day. You know, their extras, and it's like,
there's ways to make it work. You just gotta get out there and do it.
That's how you do it. No, but that's cool. That many people said that they were enjoying it, and that it gave them the little boost to go.
It's kind of like the thing that you say or whatever I've heard you say is embrace the suck, right? It sucks to go out there at that hour and do it and sweat.
I'm pretty sure
off.
that's a military saying that I stole it, but it is just
it?
like, yeah, but it is just like you embrace the suck, and it is like the other one that's my favorite is it's type 2 fun.
Type 2 fun, yeah.
Yeah,
Suffering.
where you start it, you're like, this is gonna really suck ass, and like in the middle of it, you're like, yeah, this is sucking, this isn't that great. But then afterwards, even if you made some shitty shoes, you're like,
I did it.
I did something. I was out here swinging a hammer and shit, like hitting
Pushed
stuff.
myself.
Got a little bit better, and like, yeah, you're like, oh, it gives you something else to think about for the next day.
Yep.
Like, that's where I've noticed my practice. Like, when last time I was going to WCBs, a lot. Like, man, I think I haven't gone to one, and I think the last one I went to was Edgewood, right when COVID started. So I think that was like.
Is that the one Sam did? Gooding?
No.
With the top offit tongues? No.
Nope. No, that was even longer ago, man. Because that was.
Yeah.
I was helping you and Paul with those hot fit tongs.
Oh yeah, that was a long fucking time ago.
I forget who was the judge at Edgewood the last time I went. Man, now I feel bad that I don't remember who the judge
Tyson was actually telling me a crazy story about his hot fit tongs there, with Sam judging, and his tongs were in first place, and he accidentally put the ring on the opposite rein, and Sam didn't even notice it until somebody came up and was like, "Hey, isn't that ring on the wrong rein?"
Oh, fuck them.
And then knocked it all the way down to last place. It's heartbreaking.
Fuck them.
That sucks.
Dude.
And I think he said like his slider that he had made, it was like sitting in second too. So he would have been sitting real good.
He would have won the class.
Yeah. And I think he said Money's was 2-1 as well. So it was like a tie or something like that.
Oh my.
Something as silly as that.
I get it, but.
Specimen's a specimen.
Specimen's a specimen.
But it's kind of, I was trying to wrap my brain around that, you know, it's like
what
tongs,
would you do?
You flip them over or whatever, and it's like, aren't they the same size other than the side that it's been riveted on? But I don't know.
No.
The ring.
No. It would be if they were normal tongs. If they were just like flat bit tongs, but on those tongs, one side's pointy to go in the nail hole and one side's not.
Oh,
and so you have to be like the pointy end gets, and I think that's what it was at that time too, is like that's how you offset the tongs.
Oh, so the pointy end gets the ring because that goes in the nail hole, and because you're squeezing the other side to loop it. I see.
Well, not in like that, and it's like the pointy end, you don't need as much material to make the jaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the tongs would come out uneven, and so you use that uneven part to draw out your little curlicue.
Yeah.
That you encapsulate the freaking ring with.
So now it's making sense to me. Yeah, he was telling me it just before a go, and I was just kind of pondering. I was like, how the fuck does that make any sense? But
like they're the same.
Now it's explained to me.
Oh, that dude, little things. It's just like
it's the way it goes.
That's what the way it is. And that's like, man, those are the things I'm working on more, like practicing or just making shoes every time day now. I try to like pay attention to those things. Like I'm like, it used to be I'd get done with a practice and I'm like, I don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, I did it. I practiced. And you're like, you just make the same shitty shoes the next day. But now I feel like I'm at least like, okay, this went wrong. This went wrong. I'm at least understanding, I think, what they're trying to do.
Going through my head lately as well as like as I've been practicing or whatever, it's like, seems like I kind of still make the same mistakes. And like, what am I doing to try to fix them? You know?
Yeah, it's hard. Dude,
it's hard to get over that.
It's because, and there's stupid mistakes. So like some people might not even notice, but like you notice them because they're your faults. You're like,
yeah.
When you hand somebody the shoe, you're waiting for them. That's the first thing they're gonna point out.
Yeah.
You're like, well, like,
and yeah, just something as simple as just like a little bit of horn waller or something. Like you're just holding it.
Dude,
you know,
my medial branch, the whole entire time we were doing that little team.
Yeah.
It had that fucking lean.
Doing it.
Dude, it had that fucking stupid lean on the inside of it. I was like, I'm gonna half round that all out of there.
Yeah, and that was basically what I was doing with all my draft shoes, practicing with Troy, and he'd point it out every time. He getting that horn waller there, and I'm like, I can't fix it right now.
Dude, and it's like it's so stupid. Weird too, because you're like literally trying to fix it when you're in the horn. You're like, okay, be very cautious, tilt your hand. Yeah. Like, get that inside rim handled. And you're like, what the fuck? It's still there. How does this even work?
Yeah.
They're coming. Dude, the cops are coming for you.
You can hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking right going by us, I guess.
Dude, okay, side story here. This has nothing to do with anything, but it has to do with cops. You've been out of my house. Quiet little country. Not even country. It's not even a farm road.
Yeah.
It's a road in the woods. It's a road in the woods. Well, all of a sudden, dude, like the neighbors are telling us, like on the news, one of our neighbors is this like richer old guy, and he paid his like helper that he's had for like 4 or 5 years to kill 5 of our other neighbors.
Recently?
Yeah, dude, like they like just arrested him like last week.
What the fuck?
Dude, hired, hit
so
like full
premeditated.
On. Oh yeah, solicited murder.
And nobody got killed though, right?
No, the hitman turned himself in.
Oh my god.
And so the hitman then wore a wire and like recorded this guy telling him how he wanted these people killed.
Were you on the list?
Dude, no, thankfully. Dude, you would think I would be, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm kind of not like a nice guy, like sometimes. And this guy, especially if you're bad to animals, like if you're addicted to animals, I'm not for
Yeah, they see like all the traps and stuff outside, and
this guy had a dog that would run to our house all the time.
Oh, is that guy?
And he has had this dog that I just felt so bad for that he never took care of. And I was going to freak out on him. And like they were like, just leave that guy alone. Don't fuck with that dude. I'm glad I didn't fuck with him. He wanted 2 of them to get killed with like fentanyl. He's like, inject these 2. And then wait outside this house and put a potato over the gun and shoot these ones.
A potato over the gun?
Dude, yeah.
Like to silence it?
Dude, yes.
What the fuck?
Had his all lined out how to kill these people.
That's intense.
Dude, the hitman wore a wire all the way through and like all the way to like coming back to the guy's house and like proving to him that he killed these people to get paid and stuff. So they had like the full thing on him.
Really?
You know? Yeah. And then the cops freaking
went in there and got him.
Yeah. All of a sudden, dude, freaking bullhorns and stuff. Like, dude, I didn't even know what happened. Like I was like, oh, I wondered why those like 8 cops flew up our road the one day. Like all of a sudden we just had all these cops flying up the road, and they're up there for like an hour and came back out. I was like, well, that's kind of weird.
You almost wonder if it's like a search and rescue thing at the time, but I don't know.
Had no idea. No, it was just a guy.
So that's like another thing is like
Dateline NBC right up the freaking road.
Where's this fucking guy go to try to find a hitman? Craigslist? Facebook?
No, he had these like tweaker workers.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
And just kind of sought out for him.
That's the weird thing is his tweaker he has like 4 or 5 of these tweaker workers, and they're still coming up
to his place.
Yeah.
So they're working for free now.
I don't know what's going on now. I'm just like,
damn, that's a big offense.
Stay away from my house. My dog will bite you in the face.
My dog's
yeah, my dogs are, yeah, little one's pretty little. You can kick him pretty hard. The other one you aren't kicking. Like,
oh my god.
You try kicking. It's like I'll shoot you in the face.
It's
I'm not fucking about.
That's not something I was expecting to hear, to be honest.
Dude, me either. Me either. Like I was I was blown away something like that would happen up our road.
You never know with today's world, like,
dude, creepily, like a couple days before I was driving onto our road, and like you have to cross a little bridge, you know, like right off the pave to get on there. I'm like, man, somebody could just trap all of us up here. Yeah, they could blow this little bridge up and then just like start plinking, you know, start fucking with each one of us. And it's like, little did I know that was like somewhat in the plans.
It's almost like that fucking Dozer guy in Colorado, you know.
Dude, that guy though just hated the government.
Yeah. Did you watch that fucking documentary about it?
No.
You kind of don't blame the guy, really, like getting fucked over the ass by the government like that. I don't know, that pissed me off too.
This guy is just a mad neighbor, though.
Yeah.
This guy was literally.
This guy here, you can't side with him at all. But
no, like the guy was just this
kind of
weird old rich guy.
Yeah.
Very low prices. I think that's why it happened. Why the hitman turned himself in. I don't think he was getting paid enough. It was only $1,000 a person.
Oh my god.
That's not enough.
And you're trusting this with a tweaker. This information with a tweaker.
Yeah, that's not enough money.
No.
You gotta pay him at least double.
$2,000 a piece.
That's like, dude, I was talking to one of the neighbors though. Like our tree fell across our road, so I was cleaning it up, and one of the guys drove by was one of the guys on the hit list.
Oh no shit.
Like, yeah, I was like talking with him, and he's like, man, they didn't even tell them they were on the hit list until after the dude was arrested.
Well, that's probably a good thing, really.
I don't know, man. I would be so pissed if these cops knew that I was on a hit list. And was just playing the game. What if you got killed in the middle of it?
Yeah, but obviously that guy's not man enough to go out there and kill him. He's hiring somebody to do it for him. So, like,
you never know.
If the informant's working with the police already, like, he's obviously not going to go kill anybody. So, it's probably the safest position to be in.
I would have wanted to know. I'd want to know. I'd want to know.
Because then, like, so you're on the list, you find out, oh, he's got me on a hitman list to be killed. Like, somebody, you know, you could be angry and be like, oh, I'm going to go fuck with this guy. Like, fuck him.
Yeah, you know? Blow him up.
See, exactly.
Get him before he gets you. That's the way life rolls. Like, that's how this
he's obviously not man enough to do it himself, so.
Oh.
You know.
Fuck. But, dude, organize the most fucked jail times. Like, that dude's going to be out in no time.
That's kind of what I was wondering.
Even if he's guilty.
How long of a jail time is he going to get? Like a sentence, you know?
Oh, we let murderers out all the time.
I can't. It's a weird
world.
We're
definitely letting that guy out.
Probably. Yeah.
What are you going to... Like, it's not like he's not going to be happier.
No. He's going to even be more pissed off.
Yeah. He's going to be like, well, I got to pay more than $1,000.
Yeah. Fuck this guy that turned me in.
So what I got to do? Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I wonder if that guy is probably dead now.
Rats, man.
So back to Edgewood. Yeah, I had to tell you about that weird turn of events.
Was this before the 4th, or like how long ago was this?
No, we found out a bit before the 4th. Yeah.
Before the 4th.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like 2 weeks ago now. He got arrested.
Oh shit, it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Dude, it was kind of crazy.
Pretty recent.
4th of July. So this is my first time being in Enumclaw on the 4th of July, and the Muckleshoot tribe is like just down the road, like 10 miles, and that's where everybody around here goes to buy fireworks. And in Carnation, there's like big laws about no fireworks, yada, yada, yada. So it was always usually quiet in Carnation. We got home like 8, 9 o'clock on the 4th, and dude, it was like fucking Vietnam around here. Like, it was like a war zone, like fucking fireworks going off everywhere. It was insane. Like, it was awesome, but I was not expecting that.
No, especially if you're just not used to it. Like,
yeah, we're used to just going to the fireworks show in town for 45 minutes and that's it. But it went on for hours that night.
Did they? I think you went to a little parade and everything too.
Yeah, we went up to a parade and then met up with some friends, and they were barbecuing and drank some beers. And
what were they cooking?
It was a pig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Fucking. So his neighbor bought this pig and ended up being too big for his smoker. So he was like, fuck this. You guys can have the pig. I don't want anything to do with it. So he ends up going and buying a prime rib. Cooks a prime rib instead.
Was the pig alive when you guys got it?
No, it was dead.
Oh.
So it just ended up being just a little bit too long for his smoker. And my buddy's smoker was big enough that it could fit in it. So he ended up just giving it to them. And then he got a few beers in him. And he's like, our party's hungry. We need some more meat. Is that pig done? So we ended up having to bring the meat over to the neighbor anyways. But
he just had to pretty much cook it for him.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, they ended up doing all the cook. They put it on the night before and shit. And then I just showed up and got to enjoy the fruits of their labor.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
How did Ashley win some flowers?
So old Dale, he's just an old man, and he decided before we eat, we're gonna do a little 4th of July trivia. And he had some of these questions, and one of the questions was, how old is America today? From 1776. And so I think it was like 243, I think is the answer, right? And
I think so, yeah.
I told Ashley it was like 243, and she yelled it out, and then she got the flowers.
Just one question.
There was 3 different ones, and one of them was like, I can't even remember the question now, but it had something to do with like Morocco. I can't remember. Yeah, there's 3 questions total, and I can't remember the other ones.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was something about like
old dudes like that always make the party.
Yeah, he's a cool man. And the one was about like what country stood with America as an alliance or something like that. And we kind of had no idea. We're like France or whatever. And then he was like, well, it's somewhere in Africa. And we're like, we have no idea. And then the answer ended up being like Morocco or something. But I don't know.
Oh.
I couldn't tell you. But
when was that? What, like?
I think it was like right after we gained our independence. I think.
So like
I'd have to look back into like.
Man, I feel bad that I don't know.
Yeah.
Always feel bad about that shit.
Yeah, history lessons for us were a long time ago.
And I didn't pay very much attention at that time.
They were kind of my favorite classes going in, but yeah, to a degree. Some things I enjoyed learning about, but
we never had good history teachers. They were always so boring.
His last name was Payne, so Mr. Payne. And he was the football coach.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Like a football coach with the last name Payne. It's just like he was born to be a high school football coach.
But he was a cool dude too, like he was one of the ones like obviously he's the coach, so he gets along with all like the boys or whatever and shit like that. And So he was easy. He was a good teacher.
He was probably actually like to teach about war and shit like that then.
Maybe. Kinda.
Ours were like hippies.
Yeah, that's kinda, I mean, I don't know. It follows a curriculum, I guess. But, yeah.
It's a wild
But
deal.
one thing that was actually pretty cool about Edgewood was, so one of the biggest things I miss about living in Texas was the thunderstorms and lightning storms. Like 2 nights in a row, we had those big old lightning storms just off in the distance, so that was pretty cool. And,
Was it hot as shit down there?
dude, we got lucky. So lucky. I was looking at the weather before, like the week before, it was saying like 95, and I was like, oh, this is going to be miserable. But it ended up being only like mid-80s, and it was pretty breezy the first 2 days. Like the first day we did match play was pretty hot, and the 2-man day was hot, but it had some pretty good gusts of wind. And yeah.
Did it like so it never was like muggy as shit though with that stormy weather?
No, I was actually
nice.
We got a few sprinkles here and there each evening, and I was like, please God, just dump rain so it'll knock the dust down. But we didn't get none of that, so
that dust, dude, is just,
it's like the moon dust, you know.
it is. It just floats.
I still got dust on my boots from down there. Well, here comes the man of the hour, Mr. Ben Snure.
How are you?
We're doing good.
Good.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear
See
me?
us? Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Hell yeah.
We're
I
in
got all of it.
We're in communication here.
We're live right now.
High fidelity.
Yeah. Yeah, we're recording. Welcome, everybody. We kind of like soft. What is it called? A soft launch or whatever at the beginning
Soft
of this.
opening?
So we're
Like, we got a special guest coming.
Yeah.
Well, it took me a little while because the email went to the junk box.
Oh, it
and
did?
So I was like, they hadn't sent me shit. And I kept looking, and then I thought to look for that because...
You're like, they're kind of shitty. They're probably in the junk.
No, I'm just not very technically savvy.
We're all in that same boat.
Yeah.
Did you catch some fish tonight?
I did. I caught one more bass, but it was more like I was taking other people fishing. Like, we got some family out here. My wife's side of the family, my side of the family, my sister's side of the family, and so we just all had a bunch of kids out there.
Oh, nice.
So
Getting
is there
their
a big,
shit all
a
tangled
big pond?
together.
Is there a big pond on the place?
Yeah, there's a pretty good size one. Unfortunately, the big pond during the drought completely dried up. And so and this is the second time that's happened, but we had some 6-7 pound bass in there. And now the smaller pond is pretty well stocked, and we got like some 4 or 5 pound bass and some pretty good catfish. But yeah.
You ever go noodling?
No, hell no.
That looks nuts.
I ain't doing that shit.
I don't know if I
not
can get
doing
myself
that.
to do it.
Hell no.
I want to do it.
Do you
I
really?
figured you would.
Wanna
Yeah.
you want to get bitten by like a cottonmouth? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, not that part. But there's a horseshoer named KP Cooper, and he runs hogs and bears with his dogs, and then he goes noodling the rest of the day. It's like, dude's just living the dream.
I got no
like
interest in noodling. Like, I'm going completely the other route. Like, I fly fish, and that is it.
Yeah.
I would think you would be a noodler. Like,
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, fly fishing's kind of one of those deals. Like, you can, even if you're not catching anything, you can practice having a good cast and like take pride in a good cast.
Yeah.
And so it's enjoyable.
that's all I do when I go fly fishing. It's just try to keep it out of the trees in the back of my head.
Oh, no. We lost a bunch of shit today.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just kids out there just freaking bird nesting everything.
Yep. Slinging it right into the brush.
I don't got the patience for that.
That's
So,
pretty
Gavin-
much how fishing goes with my dad.
It's fishing. It still beats work.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the one though
True
getting
dat.
snagged on everything.
If there was one thing I could do in life other than what I do, I would just fish. And not
yeah?
guide people fishing, not for food. I would just fly fish.
Yeah.
Like, I just really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Somehow I need to get paid to not catch fish while fly fishing. Because I don't
guess
catch very much.
They just call that fly fishing videos. That's what all of them do.
Or
Anyway.
hiking.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to go hiking with a chance to cast our rods today.
Yep.
Yeah, hike-
and then we're gonna go
hike
hike
with your
after our lures that we lost behind us.
Yeah, there you go.
Man.
Your selling point.
I had this pointer named Tracy, and like I stuck her with a fly so bad one day. Like she was just right behind me, and like it was with like a big spay fly. Like, and the spay rods are like 13-foot fly rods.
Oh yeah, they're massive.
You use two hands with them, and they just like rocket flies across the river. And like she was just like came on my right side, and I didn't know she was back there until all of a sudden my freaking line just came tight. She's just taking off, ripping through the brush, getting snagged and everything with this hook just hanging in.
Oh
like,
shit!
The only good thing
Driving
about
it
flies.
in worse.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's like they're barbless. It's like so you can just
So
pull
I
right
had a
back
guy
out.
working for me, and his story was he was out fishing like way up this creek, and he snagged himself right in the back of the head. And he hadn't mashed the barb, he couldn't get it out, so he had to just like clip off the line, and he went like started just driving down the door, knocking. Can you help me get this out? And nobody would answer the door. So finally, like some poor like old lady was like, "What's wrong with you?" I got a fly stuck in the back of my head. Really? Yeah, I gotta see this. Opened the door and helped him.
You almost kind of sound like a nut when you're saying, like, I got a fly stuck in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Just random on doors.
All of a sudden you got a gun in your face.
Can you help me?
Who let you out of the insane asylum?
He's lucky
Yeah,
that was probably
different kind of
before
walk of shame.
He's lucky it was before cell phone cameras, man. He would have gone
Yeah.
viral. It's like, so this guy shows up on my porch.
Yeah.
Look at his head.
Yeah.
He's just got a zinger hanging.
Well, Gavin, congratulations, Cat 4, dude.
It's going to be next year, yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but
Can't
or it'll
Sunday.
be next contest. It'll be Fort Worth, won't
Well, I
it?
think I can do Cat 3 one more time until the year.
I don't know. I heard if you win a contest or win your category, you're automatically.
I think you can
next
go
notch,
all
but-
year. Because you can
All
go all
right.
year or whatever, and then the following year you have to go up.
Still, congratulations, getting to buckle
Yeah.
out like we talked about.
Finally.
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 That's
Finally
a
got one.
big accomplishment.
Well, thank you. Get
Is
lucky
that your
every now and again.
first? Is that your first WCB buckle?
It is, yeah.
Hell
Pretty
yeah.
cool. I
Yeah.
haven't got one.
Placed second to Dylan many a times in the years. But finally.
Dylan's pretty strong.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can't
And-
fault the guy.
You didn't? Did you get the? How close? You're pretty close to getting the bucket.
Yeah, I was right behind Mason, I think. But
I was gonna say, didn't see Mason's shoe scores or his live shoe and score?
no, I didn't. I actually didn't even see mine. We ended up leaving before seeing him, but I kind of screwed myself in the shoeing. I asked Andrew beforehand, like once I got done, I was like, "Are you gonna crucify me?" So when I nailed up, and my shoe slid over to the inside. So the foot was already like dubbed off a lot, like it's been shod like 2 weeks ago. It looked like, and literally was just like put the shoe on, raped the sides off, and there was like no medial wall. So beforehand, I kind of told him, I was like, well, I'll just kind of fit it out and around, and it'll almost be like a little bit beveled off, like just where the foot should be or whatever. And when I nailed it up, it shifted to the inside, so it actually like made it look really full, and that's kind of where I fucked myself.
Like you had some flat steel sitting there, not just nice boxing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I had it boxed off pretty nice.
Was
before.
it dubbed off enough that you had to like punch that medial side kind of deep to get boxing in good nails in it?
No, I still punched it center of stock, but like it was like center of stock was like right there in the white line, but then I had it boxed off, and then it
Were
just
you on a
slid
hind
over.
or a front?
Front left.
All right.
Yep.
Fronts are not your favorite.
No. And unfortunately, my knives were like dull. I sharpened them before I left, but dude, it's hard out there.
No, you got to have chisels out there.
It was hard.
Around here, too.
So
Yeah.
what'd you do? Like, it just didn't have a lot of foot, so you were lucky there?
Thankfully, yeah. But like it had like heel stack on it, right? So I was like trying to like knife it out, and my knives were like barely like cutting it, and Troy would be like, knife that out, clean them bars, and I was like trying, but it was like just by digging in, it was like leaving like the chalky lines. I was like, man, I'm just making this worse. So I was like, just gonna stop there and call it, take my licks, you know.
Yeah, kind of is what it is. They like, it's kind of scary too when they're really hard like that, because you think like, man, if I bite in here too much, is a whole chunk
Yeah, but
come out?
Can you bite it? I mean, I've been around here, and I've shot horses around here and in dry places like that. Like, I didn't even use a hoof knife. I just got my nippers and just wallered shit out.
I didn't have that much hoof to like be confident enough to go in with
Yeah.
the nippers and nip it out, because then it would have been like atrocious, you know. You would have
So
seen
do
the
they
nipper
judge?
mark.
I mean, they judge your trim job, right? Before you. Okay.
Yep.
Before you fit the shoe up
they
to
even
it.
judge you on like how smooth it is.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
yeah.
it just shows like intention.
I've never had to worry about that.
This is
Nor
coming
will I
from the
ever.
guy, so this is also kind of cool, as Ben competed in the novice, and we've had Ben on before, and he's a blacksmith, and you've heard a story where he shod some horses, but like nothing to the degree of like being a competitive horseshoer or whatever. He competed in the novice.
He is a competitive horseshoer now.
He is
I'm
now.
a competitive horseshoe. I've done it twice now.
He is now. And Ben made it really far in the novice match play, which is pretty damn
Yep.
sick. You guys
Yep,
were having
first
to...
loser. What's that?
You got second?
Yeah, I was first loser, and nobody has ever been as excited about second place as I was in that. Like,
Yeah.
you'd have thought I won.
Dude,
pretty
that
sick.
is awesome.
They were having to fit up heart bars, like, so the Blurton bar shoes or whatever. He was having to fit
Yeah.
up heart bars and straight bars. Like, he owned it.
Well, because
Well,
it was like, I was talking to Ben leading up to the contest, and he's like, man, I want to make it far in the match play. I want to try to make it far in the match play. He's like,
And
but
I
it
also
really
hadn't
gets to me.
practiced at all. I'd practiced that zero.
I mean, it's not really something you can practice. Like, you're not gonna buy a box of the straight bars and just
Fit them.
hammer the shit out of them.
No, but it's something like that's somebody who's looking at feet and shaping shoes every single day. Like it should, that's just naturally what they do. And Riley gave me the best advice of it's just shapes.
Yeah.
Like make the shape, and then I had Todd Walker strike for me every round, which was
Beyond helpful.
beyond helpful. And like every time, like we had 10, 15 minutes at least to like kind of get a game plan of what we were going to do.
Yep.
And I damn sure would not have made it that far without him, because there was a few times he was just like, well, I don't know what else you're going to do to it. I hadn't seen the foot, but man, quit here.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to know when to quit.
Yes, I think, like, man, I have had that screw me in match plays before where I'm like, oh, it looks good, but I'm just going to bring this heel in a little bit. And then you're like, fuck, I'm under.
Yeah. And then there goes the time.
I'm fucked. I'm fucked.
Then they're ringing the bell and you can't fix it.
Nope. Is
No,
there anything that Todd said that, like, you still remember that, like, was a gem?
Honestly, know when to quit was just, and I'm
was it.
bad about that. Like, I will refine something until I've completely fucking ruined it. And him saying, man, it looks good. Like, it looks what the shitty picture you drew on your hand looked like.
Yeah.
Quit.
Oh, that's
That's
right. You were drawing them on your hand, huh?
Hell yeah, I was.
Dude, that's not a bad idea.
And, they were bad pictures, but at least, like, I had measurements. I had a rough idea to show him of what it looked like to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And it helped.
Yeah.
So you just had your Sharpie and you would just do a
mark
quick
my ruler.
sketch.
I'd mark width, and then I'd mark the heel width, and sometimes I'd mark length. Sometimes I wouldn't, but very often on a lot of them, like the width and the length were so damn close, like it just
You were able to
it'd be
remember
two
it.
overlapping marks
Yeah.
with my
So-
Sharpie that you couldn't hardly tell.
Do you get to choose any size straight bar you want, or do they give it everybody?
Thank
the same
God,
one?
no.
I kind of wondered
No,
about that.
they give you a shoe, but some of that's good and some of it's bad because and I kind of was asking around. I was like, why did they give us this shoe? This is entirely too big, or this is entirely like this is a size 2, and they gave us an aught.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you guys got to
And-
stretch it.
So you got to stretch it, add some more fuller in, and that's kind of where I lost my first round because we kind of talked about it, Todd and I did, and we're like, I don't know where to get extra length out of this. And we did the best we could, and every time, like I'm happy to say, they went to the foot and they went kind of back and forth and tried to figure out which one was better. And then the last one, they gave us a shoe that was quite a bit too big. I think they gave us a size.
Oh, yeah, and didn't you guys have to narrow up the heels a lot?
Well, it was more than that because they gave us like a size 2 shoe to nail on an aught, and so we were like just trying to get rid of material.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that I went up against was I think his name Jason Fleming. And after
Okay.
we got done, he was like, "Where'd you get rid of the material?" He was like, "I don't know." I just did the best I could, kind of trying to drive that heart bar in, and that's
Yep.
what I did too. And it just came down to just a little bit better fit.
Yeah. It's
But
usually what it comes
I didn't
down
know
to.
I didn't know that's how they did that. Was that you just everybody got the same shoe, and it's not ideal.
Yeah, they purposely give in the beginning rounds like it's pretty
That's cool.
ideal fit. Like
Yeah.
you can just draw a clip on it, maybe narrow the heels up, and you're kind of all right. But then as the rounds progress, like they're trying to mess with you a bit.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
Suppose that
and
would be.
I assume to me it makes sense because like a guy may have to go shoe a horse and not have the correct shoe on his truck, and
Yeah.
it's got to make it work.
That would
Man.
probably be like your weakness, I guess, would be not necessarily having the experience like shoeing horses every day, like
Yeah.
kind of some of the other guys that went to shoeing school or whatever, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, but even shoeing school is not going to teach you too much about that. It's not until you have, we all make 14-inch straight bars, throw them in the rig. Well, it's not until you get to a horse where you're like, well, I'm going to Foley fuller this thing all the way around. Or you're like, I'm going to chop an inch out of the toe and weld it back together.
Yeah.
Like, get rid of some shit here. Like,
I didn't realize how much a shoe will grow just from fullering.
dude,
Yeah.
I mean, and it makes sense. And I've been building these novice shoes, and the novice, like 3/4 fuller shoes are longer, but I didn't realize that's why that is the fullering gains you some length.
Oh, man.
Dude, that was like, so for the shoe on the foot, so we had to fully fuller and then put a masselet toe clip in there. Well, normally, like if we were just doing 3/4 fullered with a masselet toe clip, you would be adding material on there. So the first one that I ever practiced and tried to make, like I was adding material for my clip, for my bump, and I just came like massively huge. Well, by fullering through that toe, like it was just literally your same measurement that you normally do, and it would just come to size. Like just by fullering through the toe, it just gained so much more.
It's a
The
lot.
shoes you guys had to make in that contest, that Roadster shoe on day one, or
That was
not
hard.
that draft shoe.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
hard.
the double dauber.
Yeah.
No, the double dauber was the smaller one, right?
Yep.
And then the other one was an ag heel,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like 2.5 heats of bumping.
Miserable.
Just
Yeah,
looked
because it had
miserable.
a mass slot on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah. It's miserable.
yeah, that's a lot of bumping.
How much
Miserable
were you-
for a short guy.
How much were you bumping into it, Gavin?
I was happy if I got 2 inches, but I ended up like 1.5.
And you took
That
2
was
heats.
good enough for you.
I did 2 heats, and yeah, I was like 1 5/8 towards the end. And it showed in my shoe. I was just a little weak at the clip, you know?
But you weren't weak in the toe.
Yeah, just right there, because I robbed some of the material. I pulled it out. So it wasn't like super crisp like the front front guys
And-
were.
And did you scoop out a bunch of material? Like, did you drive a bunch of material out behind the clip? Like,
Oh, yeah.
with a hammer and stuff?
Yeah. It was crazy. So, I don't know if we should talk about it now, but some of the coke was a little bit of an issue at the contest.
No way.
Yeah. Like it had like a coke coal mix into it and like
Yeah.
a bag that we put in our dude, it was just slimy and gross. And Troy pulls it out. He's like, dude, I swear I didn't burn it up. He's like, it just came out just slimy and nasty. Like, it just looked like it had been burned up. But it literally wasn't even on, like, sparkling or nothing. Like, and so it was hard to get a good heat to get the bump right. So fucked myself in the beginning.
Dude.
At least you had your fire hot enough for that. I mean,
yes and no, but
was it not where the fire's not real hot?
So I ended up doing on like the freestanding rig in the back for the 2-man go, and
those are not as hot.
yeah, they were not necessarily as hot as like the main rig.
They don't have much air.
Yeah, I mean it had a good blower on it, but I think just like the way the coke was, it was just a little inconsistent.
That, and it's like, but no matter what, the blower on those ones out there, the freestandings are just little blowers.
They're not going to blow your fire out of your pot altogether.
Yeah, the blower on the rig's like a 10-horse grain cleaner.
Yeah,
Like, it's a huge fan.
It was super weird. Like some of the bags would be like the big clumpy coke, like it was like stout, and then other bags would have like the big chunks in it, and then it would just have like super fine like coal in it. Like it was.
And
weird.
was this everybody was kind of having the same?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the main with the big
Shit
blower
City,
on there,
bro.
with the big blower on the rig, like it wasn't that big of an issue, you know.
But it was over there on the freaking freestandings.
Yeah.
It's just luck of the draw where you get put. But,
yeah, even Brian, he had to do his individual go in there, and like, just the hot spot was inconsistent, and then like having to clean it out, like every time you pull it out, you have to clean it and brush all the shit off of it.
Was Brian just yelling?
No.
Dude,
No,
I
he kept cool.
I love when Brian just starts, this fucking Coke! Yeah, this fucking Coke sucks! Like in the middle of it, like he put things in and out.
No, he's actually
because he's
pretty
the
cool
nicest
about
guy ever. And he's like, every once in a while, he's like, son of a bitch!
Yeah.
Nothing gets your point across like some needless swearing.
Yeah.
At the top
dude.
of your lungs.
Yeah.
You gotta let some out every now and again.
Dude, yeah, you gotta release the vent.
I'd say that was probably like my biggest
you think
vent,
that's why
I
you
guess.
didn't get the bump?
Not fully. Like part of it is my fault just by not hitting it hard enough and bumping it right.
Yeah.
But it was
Especially
also
first class of the weekend.
yeah,
Just
and
going into trying to bump.
so normally you bump the 1/2x1 shoe before you bump the 1/2 inch and a quarter, just like it's just gonna get hotter faster.
Yeah.
Well, normally we would have it timed out where by the time I'm done bumping the 1/2x1, he would have it quenched off, the draft shoe quenched off, ready to bump the Mass-a-Lot. But he had that thing cranked in the whole time, and it wasn't hot yet by the time I was ready. So I was kind of having to wait around for that. So he's like, I swear to God, I've had it cranked the whole time. And we pull it out, and the hot spot was like way off from where we wanted it. So we had to wait a little bit longer. And then we pull it out, and it was just like greasy, slimy. So it's kind of behind the 8 ball there, but I kind of got a little bit winded myself. So it wasn't all their fault. It was partly my fault. Just
I'm glad to hear it's not just me that gets winded from a bump and heat.
everybody, I think everybody does. Having to
You
bump.
know, I was pretty good the first day. Like, I was able to stay out of my head and just kind of follow my program. Second day, I don't know why. Like, I just got gassed after the first bump and heat. And then, like, after that, it's just catch up the whole time.
Mm-hmm. I think nerves have to do a little bit
Feel
about
that pressure
as well.
on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely nerves, but I don't know why. Like, I've talked to Riley a fair amount about it. Like, I just get in my own head, and I can build 2 great shoes in an hour, but without the clock.
Yeah.
but the
just
clock
like
starts.
not in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's such a hard, like, you have to get to, like, and it's so many shoes you have to make till you get to start getting to the point where it's like you're not thinking about the clock anymore. Like, it's just like, it's like tying your shoe. You know exactly what's going to happen each individual time. But that's then you add that twist to it. Like, even if you get to that point, then you show up at the contest and you get thrown a curveball, you know, like the fire situation. You're like, now what do I do? Like
Calm.
Oh man, yeah, you just gotta roll with the punches, you know. But it's definitely like that's the whole thing about the competition. It doesn't matter what you can do at home.
Yeah, you know, experience kind of goes into that too. Is like putting yourself in that position where you're competing, like consistently all the time or whatever, to where like the things you have practiced, you are now ready for, because like you can make up some time. So just by emulating what you have practiced or whatever, in your head, like, I have time to do this. So you can either take your lump here just to get done or something like that. I think it's
that's like when we were doing that
team.
When we were doing the team, we knew exactly how much time each thing took.
Yeah.
And so we knew exactly, like, well, okay, we're in the contest and like this, say I'm trimming and I'm supposed to only have 5 minutes trimming. Well, I took 7 minutes trimming. We're like, well, okay, you get 2 minutes less here. Like, where to rob it from. Exactly, because you know how much things take. But it is just like something to go through it. Did that help you a bunch at match play, Ben? Like, to do that many rounds of competing?
Not really.
No?
Man, I was just flying by the seat of my pants, and I had a good guy helping me out, telling me exactly what to do, and we got a game plan, and we stuck with it. Like, getting a program and sticking with it. Like, my clips, I have hell drawing my clips, and Jim Poor was trying to give me help, and I was like,
in the middle of the competition.
I understand what you're saying, and you're a person that I like to take advice from. You have never steered me wrong. But in the contest is not the time to change my program.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In one hand, like, well, if you're sucking anyway, so might as well try something else.
But I wasn't doing too bad. And so I was like, I'm going to keep going with what I got.
Yep.
And I can change, like, some very small things, but I can't make drastic changes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jim's over there like, hey, listen, you're going to swing with your left hand now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Great.
You're like, what?
I've decided the whole thing on, like, contest shoers, like, to be a good contest shoer is you've got to, like, know how to efficiently, like, you got to be able to build a shoe and know how to efficiently correct your mistakes that you make.
Yeah.
And then
the
Cat 4 guys, they're on a different plane, and they know how to avoid making those mistakes in the first place. And it gives them so much more time, not ever having to go back and fix those mistakes. And there's little mistakes that they make, but like what you were saying about, how you were trying to play catch up on that Massalot clip or whatever. Like, it's just, you're able to efficiently make a mistake and or avoid it. And I have no idea how to avoid the mistakes I make. And I'm kind of getting to where I can sort of correct some of them.
Experience,
And it's experience.
Yeah, but it is like, I know what you mean. Like, you feel like you're still in this place where you're like, you look at the shoe and you're like, whoa, how the fuck did that even happen?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess experience.
Where's this material? Like, I know that I didn't bump material right there. Why is it so fat?
Dude.
Experience might be the wrong kind of word, I guess, to use. Like, could kind of scare some people off. Maybe practice is the right word.
I think, or just sometimes
it's all
good,
the same.
Good detective work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you can, like your Monies and your buddy Trunkas and your Daniel Joneses, like, they figured out, like, okay, I keep having this same issue. What do I need to change leading up to that to not have that issue?
Yep.
It's kind of what we were just chatting about before Ben jumped on.
Yeah, because it is no different than, like, you making hammers. You're like, oh, okay, well, my my faces are always a little twisted here. Where the fuck am I going wrong?
Yep.
And like, so you start pre-watching for that way early. So that's where I'm saying, like, it's a little bit of detective work too, like, especially when you're like, okay, I look at my shoe and there's this mistake there each time.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, this is how I fix it. And you're like, well, what if I just try the fix before I even fuck it up? Like, you know, like you work backwards a little bit and you're like, okay.
That's some shit.
And I'm at a point where I'm just now recognizing issues. So now I've got to learn how to fix them efficiently.
Yes.
Which that's a big step for me of actually recognizing, okay, I see what's wrong here. I don't know how to fix it, but I know that's wrong.
You're recognizing finer things. It's been cool to like, because your questions that you ask me keep on getting more and more advanced. You're like, you're like, hey, so I'm doing this. Where do they want this shit at? And it's like, okay, yeah. Now you're not just trying to like, how the hell do I punch the nail hole? You're like, where's the nail hole go? Like, where's the best place for this fucker?
And I will say, like, that's one thing that I was really happy with throughout all my shoes is my nail placement was correct.
Sweet.
Like, he didn't have any issue with nail placement.
I think it's cool as shit that, I know Andrew very well. That Andrew is a basics driver. Like, he wants to see the basics so bad, and he's so good at them that he sees them. Just like, that's the first thing that just blares into his face when he looks at a shoe. He's just like, oh, everything's there. That can be a good, nice, nailable shoe. And you are not an everyday horseshoer at all. Not even a part-time horseshoer. And you, what was there, 20 novices?
I think there was 21.
So out of 21, you placed 7th. You beat
I was ninth. I was ninth.
Okay, even 9th. You beat that many people that are horseshoers. Horseshoers.
I tried real hard.
Yeah, I tried to show it. I mean, like,
I can't put them down, but like, you know, some of these guys are newer to horseshoeing.
Yeah.
Some of them are newer to forging shoes. I mean, it's not like I can just say. It's not exactly apples to oranges. I'm not a horseshoer and they are. Like, it's for a lot of us in the novice. I mean, it's all. Yeah, this aspect is newer.
One of the fellas in our group, Richard, he just got out of shoeing school and he's been only building shoes for 4 months. You know,
man, that dude is just nicer than shit too.
Yeah.
And if I'd have looked at him, I'd have thought that guy just straight got out of prison. Couldn't have been a nicer guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Straight got out of prison.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, everybody's kind of different stepping stones, right? When they get into the novice, you know, you never know. But
no, but to place 9th
jump in there and do it.
Means you had good basics in your horseshoe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the guy that won, I mean, he's doing the WCB to prep to do his journeyman. And so you got that other end of the spectrum in the novice. So
it's a good way.
I mean, it's a mix.
That is a good way to do it.
I'm damn proud of how it ended up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's cool as shit. So it has to give you a little bit of, like, it was worth it practicing, at least. Like...
Yeah. I wish I'd have had more than 3 weeks to practice, but that's what happens when you're on the waiting list and you're not practicing because you don't think you're going to get in.
That was another thing we chatted about.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That is funny. Is there anything you learned in that shoe that you think that you'll push into, like, other forging?
Yes and no. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. And
or even do you think it, like, in any ways changed your hammer making, like how you think of hammers?
So I built a different hammer for myself for this contest, which I never do. Like, I never
must be nice.
Set out to build myself a hammer. Actually, I set out to build myself hammers all the time, and then I always sell them, because I'm sure Riley has done a bunch too. But it's a little bit longer than my normal hammers, just a smidge, and the weight's more to the faces than in the cheeks of it, and I kind of like that.
Do you think that'll kind of like influence some of the more hammers that you build from now on, or you just kind of keep them how you have been building them?
You know, I think I'm going to possibly do a run of these hammers.
Yeah.
you know, with Well Shot and having them like the hammers that they have on their website, I can't change them that much.
That's what
People like them, they buy them, and so I got to stick with that. But I may throw another option out there.
Yeah, like you don't always have to
like
advertise a different style.
Yeah.
I see.
And did the way you grind the faces change at all, or still pretty much the same?
Pretty much the same.
Okay. I noticed like my hammer styles change a bunch with my shoemaking. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
One of my daughter's hairs on me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you just start making shoes one way. It's like that's like doing the team stuff when we were making so many different shoes. You know, like they were such a big vast difference. Like you were making fine shoes and then you're making big heavy shoes. So that's where I started making those like small round faces and this big old flat face for just ironing shit out. It's like
see, and that's great for like the custom work. But how many lines of different hammers can you offer and do them in kind of a semi-production work?
No, that's the thing with yours is that you got those when someone goes to Wellshot to buy a Ben Snure hammer, they have an image in mind,
and they're gonna get it.
Yeah, it's like you nail it, and so it's like, well, with me, it's like fuck. Well, I don't think I made a rounding hammer.
I was thinking about that the other day.
I haven't
put up a hammer in a little while.
Well, I haven't. It's probably been.
Just kind of goes
it's
show.
Been months since I
like
made
you say, you always like to try something different. Keep your mind, not in that pre-production mode.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing too. Is like I get weird. Like I'm my biggest doubter. I think that I literally think in my head is like, would anybody even buy one right now?
Yeah.
Like if I put one up for sale, would anybody even buy it? Like it might sit on my website for a while. That'd be just embarrassing as shit. So I'm not making them. I'll make a pan.
That's the thing is you could have like 16 hammers sitting there and nobody knows. You just say that one's available. And I don't know if I talked about it here. Like, I'm kind of similar to you. Like, I used to make one of something, and I'm never making this again. Like, I have done it. And I don't know what it is about hammers. Like, I can just keep making them. And I feel like it's hard enough to keep them as consistent as I want them. And that's what keeps me interested.
Yeah.
That's why I can keep making more of them.
Man, that's horseshoes for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like I can just make a pile of those fuckers in a day, and it's like, man, it would feel like work making a pile of hammers in a day.
It gets a feeling like work too, but at the same time, like I can get done and look at all these. I can look at 6 2-pound hammers, and they're all so damn close, and I can take great pride in that. Just that.
That's hard.
Yeah. It's hard.
That is super hard. That's why I gave you that advice of like when you're like I don't know what to do with match play. It's like just do the shapes. Like I've seen you do so many shapes by eye. I know you can do it. Like it's not, and I know you know how to make the anvil do it. So it's like,
well, and that's taking it down to the most basic level of not overthinking of it. It's a weird shape. Make that weird shape, and I just stuck with that the whole time. Man, it's because after I told you that too, me and Chelsea were talking about it a little bit. I was like, that's what everybody does, is they all worry about it way too much. And it's like literally when you start thinking about fitting shoes, you just look at the outside shape of the shoe and the outside shape of the hoof. Don't fucking think about anything on the inside. None of that stuff. And like after a while, you start shooting your eyes, you're like, okay, now I'm gonna make this inside shape something different. So that's when you can start like hiding ugly feet. Like you see Craig never posts an ugly foot. Well, it's like sometimes the outside shape's not amazing, but that inside shape is always sweet looking, and because he makes his sections look nice, and so he hides it all in there.
It's like the idea of like a French hind or a Euro bar.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Or it's like a roadster, man. How many times those roadsters like
they're tough.
Yeah, they're hard. But if you put a sweet inside shape to them,
it's more eye appealing.
They look pretty sweet.
See, and that's the part of the whole thing that I'm learning is like getting the outside shape is not that hard now. but how do you make the inside shape have flow to where
That's the test of
the
the
whole
novice.
flow thing?
It's the test of the novice
Dude.
class.
Yeah.
Right there.
You look at
And,
some
like,
of those novice shoes, and they're freaking good. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they have a lot of flow.
And then I look at some of the shoes, and this is because I don't know, and I'm not going to, like, harass anybody, but it's like, why did that shoe beat mine? And I'm not trying to be a jerk, it's just I don't know. Like, I don't see what somebody else would see.
So usually it comes down to what's easiest to fix.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was actually something that was really cool with Andrew, with the novice guys. Even Andrew came up and told me afterwards, like I chatted with him, and he's like, all the novice guys, they stood around, watched me, judged it. Once the shoes got done, literally everybody, I was able to take the time, and they asked me all the questions that they thought about the shoes, and I was able to tell them what exactly to fix, what I would be doing differently, and why it placed where. And a lot of those guys, and you could probably attest to it, Ben, is like, he took the time to go through each shoe with you guys to like fix it and like how it would have been better,
Big time. Now, I will say, like, I didn't stand around for the judging. That is way too nerve-wracking. I would rather be sitting by the cooler.
You're not a hoverer.
Yeah, I'm not a hover. Like, I went and relaxed, and then once it was done, I looked at my shoes, and I was like, oh, okay, I can kind of see this, because, he'd write a note on your shoe, and then he'd say something like, shape, and like, okay, where did I go wrong, and how do I improve this? And he was really good about, like, explaining what he didn't like about it and what needs to be improved. And at the same time, I mean, like I said, I didn't stand around and listen to anybody else getting judged because, yeah, he judged them better than me. That's fine. All I can do is improve my own shoe. I can't make their shoe shittier.
No. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very
And
hard.
so that's the route that I took for it. And, unfortunately, on one of my shoes the next day, I did take his advice. And then on the other shoe, I just shit the bed.
Oh, yeah?
What happened?
I just forgot to run out my lateral branch a little bit, and so it ended up short. Just forgot.
Yep.
Yep.
It
And
happened.
so you did run out that medial though, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Really nice, real nice and thin, real great safing. Like that medial branch looked great. And then I got done, and we just did, like, neither John or I caught it. Like, just didn't do it. And that was the day that I kind of just ran out of gas and was playing catch up after the first heat.
Yeah.
And that's when it'll happen to you. It's like you'll lay the shoes down on the anvil at the end and look at them, and you're like, "Oh fuck."
I didn't even see it.
Oh really?
always-
Oh no!
as soon as the
nothing.
clock's done or whatever, you see
Yep.
it, you're like, why the fuck did I not see that during the midst of the go?
No, I didn't. Neither one of us saw it. It was just we were going. He knew I was gassed out. That was our day. We kind of had our shitty day with the bad coke, and like stuff would come out and like have not exactly clinker stuck to it, but that slimy whatever shit, and like couldn't really like my
Slimy.
heel heats weren't quite
Dude, it was weird.
quite hot.
Was it just like coal? Was it coal coking up?
It had like little coal in it with big chunks of coke.
Honestly, I never looked at the fire. I let John do all that. I just know like we kind of had an issue getting everything hot.
Yeah.
And like they came out dirty with just globs of shit stuck to it and nothing. I mean, I knew it wasn't John's fault. He and I practiced enough that, I mean, he's taking care of me. So just it is what it is. And I tried to make the best of it.
No, but that
Yeah.
still freaking sucks.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to keep dwelling on it. But it's like,
But the thing is, I assume everybody
had.
had their rounds and their issues with it.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's your turn in the barrel for dealing
That's
with
what I was wondering. Was there some bags that were a blend and some bags that were pure Coke, or was it just?
Yeah. Some of them were good. Some of them weren't. It was kind of inconsistent.
You
It's a bummer.
didn't. No one was cherry picking over there, just like
Didn't
it.
know.
It beats me.
You
I have
didn't
no
know.
idea.
You know?
man. that
Like you just
freaking
open it up
sucks.
and hopefully you got a good one.
The closest I got to dealing with a fire was striking for Justin Height in the
Oh, yeah. In the
Cat
match play.
1 match play.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I struck. And hell, he won Cat 1. I mean, just fucking hands
he was
down.
going.
Too.
He actually, I think he
did good.
Won Cat 1.
Yeah, he did.
He had a good weekend. He had a good weekend.
Yeah, he beat the pants off of him.
Yeah, it was cool.
And that's with me striking for him. And so
his dad's a decent horseshoer as well,
Yeah.
so that helps.
That's
him
what
out.
I gather. He might be a little more than decent.
Yeah, I mean, they posted a picture the other day of Chad, Craig, and Bodie and Joey all on a draft team in Calgary. So it's like,
so he's been around a little bit.
Yeah, Dad
did get to see
decent hand.
Joey got to he was using the Willoughby Forge welding flux. And
Justin?
Or Justin, I mean. And
yeah.
Is it working pretty good?
Cool. Yeah.
I ain't gonna say anything.
Yeah, he welded it up.
I don't know. I didn't use it.
I mean, it looked solid. Like, I want to try some.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that Tom's doing a little extra. I saw that he has the flux out and he has
like the hoof softeners.
Hoof clay or something.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I really like that he did is he's got a little flux pan with magnets. You stick it to your anvil, flux over it.
Oh, is that the other thing he's selling?
Yeah.
I saw somebody carrying one. I didn't know what it was.
So, you know, because hell, when you're spending, like $23 on a bottle of flux, have it magnetic, stuck to your anvil, then just dump it right, it's beveled, dump it right in there.
That's a really good idea.
It's a highfalutin cookie sheet.
I mean, it looked like for a mechanic or whatever, you get those things with the magnet on, it sticks on your toolbox, and you put the nuts and bolts in it. And I was like, why the heck does that guy have that thing here? But that explains it.
Dude, that is a really good idea.
I'm kind of.
I put a half a bottle. I put a half a bottle. Yeah, I put a half a bottle on the ground every fucking. At least for one bottle, half of that fucker is on the ground. It's like, because you did sprinkle it all over the place, and I just go. Blow it off onto the ground, just like get out of here. I ain't got time
to wipe that shit up.
I ain't got the patience. No. That's for damn sure.
And I'm not careful enough to get it perfectly in the scene. Even worse, I take a freaking big drill bit and I drill the spouts out every time I open a new bottle, so it pours out quicker. So more gets out on there.
Well, and then you got guys like Weston who had a little pie plate, and was using that and was doing it over there, being real careful. Do 2 or 3 welds and then knock the thing on the ground, and so it's still wasted.
Yeah.
It's the effort. It's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. The wasted effort.
Yeah, or if you were there in Edgewood or whatever, the wind picked up a couple times and it was just then you're just welding with the dust on the ground.
Oh,
yeah, but I mean, there's sand in the air. That could be used as flux, I think.
Yeah, just hold it up. Just hold your shoe up for a little bit.
At least it wasn't near as dusty as the last time I was there.
Oh, yeah, it turned out good. We got pretty lucky with the weather.
I mean, the weather really was pretty damn nice for Edgewood, New Mexico in the end of June.
Yeah, and thank God there was people there cooking food for us while we're there, because one thing about Edgewood is all the restaurants close at 8 p.m. and when your match play is going till 11, oh man, good luck trying to eat.
Was Susie's husband there cooking the weekend again?
Vince Vesely.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yep. Him and then a crew. I think he said his brother-in-law. I talked to him for a little bit, but I can't quite remember. But yeah, thankfully they were there.
I'm taking my kids again next year, and I'm setting them up a pickle shot station.
Oh,
they're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But I think they could probably make $300 selling shots of pickle juice over the weekend. And just undercut Vince and his crew.
His pickle shot.
$2 a pickle shot.
Yeah. That was a little tough.
He was selling, $2 a pickle shot's selling pickle shots?
Yeah, for $2.
I drank a shot of pickle juice?
Yeah.
You don't do that?
Fuck, no, I don't do that.
Really?
No, I just hydrate beforehand.
What do you do? Eat salt pills?
Yeah.
All right, man. I do that too, but I like some pickle juice.
Yeah, I like my salt and my French fries, but
and people are gonna pay 2 small kids $1 a pickle shot pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I was trying to tell him, and everybody's
You'd
going
have
to
to
be...
pay me $2 a shot. Like, I'm not doing it.
Well, you don't have to. We're not selling to you. We're selling to the Gavins of the world.
Yeah, I drank a whole jar of pickle juice on the 2-man day. Just because I know I cramp up. No, I bought a jar at Walmart.
Oh, I was going to say, Vince made off on you like a bandit.
No, shit. No, I was actually keeping my jar of pickles in Ben's cooler. Keep it cool.
Yeah, I'm a pickle juice drinker. I drank some today.
Oh, yeah, when it gets hot like this, I start cramping up a lot. Just the way she goes.
How hot is it there in your part of the world?
Too fucking hot right now.
It was like 92 today.
Yeah, it was 90. Wow. It was 96 when I left my second.
96 is getting warm enough.
Super humid today too.
Yeah,
it was muggy. Like I felt like I was sweating as soon as I walked out the house.
That's the one thing about going to Edgewood. I love that dry heat. Love it.
Yes, 70% humidity today.
Yeah, and it's like you get those shitty, pissy pastures that's just like, it's hot and it's just like wafting at you.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I just, like, when the lady came out to hand me the check, I just wanted to yell at her. Like, nothing bad really happened. I just wanted to fucking yell. I was like, you bitch.
Why the fuck did you hire me?
Yeah, it's like, fucking why? Like, why am I here?
What am I doing this for?
It's literally like, she came out just in her fucking cool as could be. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you in the horse you rode in on right
I like
now.
that hot, dry heat, 100 degrees. Feels like you're standing in front of a hairdryer. Oh, that's
how it felt there in New Mexico, that's for sure.
Yep. I can deal with that. The constant feeling if you blow your nose, you're going to have a bloody nose.
That's I do every time I go to Edgewood.
It's living life on the edge.
Just your nose is cracked. Just all over here.
Yeah, my nose still hurts on the inside. Like, it's got a crack in it right now.
I think that's one of the biggest... I think that's one of the biggest, like, pro tips for going to a contest is chapstick.
Actually, in our goodie bag,
in
our goodie bag, the WCB's making a chapstick now. WCB chapstick.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's in the door of my truck.
Yeah.
It's probably melted into a puddle.
Is it in a tube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has the logo on it.
That's
I was like,
cool.
God damn, that's handy for out here.
So, Riley, I mean, what's your trick? Do you just, like, put it in a nostril and snort for a little bit, or?
Yeah, I'll put it on my finger and
the whole thing up there.
Kick her up there, yeah.
I didn't know if you tried to, like, rub the stick in.
I just want to know, is Craig making the chapstick? Like, where's this what's Craig putting in this chapstick? He's just sitting back watching all you fuckers rub it on your lips. He's like, that's it, motherfuckers. Puts the lotion on the skin.
Lotion on the skin.
Craig's like, I got you right where I want you.
It's like that running with old Buffalo Jim back there.
These motherfuckers will put anything in their mouth, in or around it.
Craig always has a little bit of a runny nose. He's just been bottling that shit for the year. He just got it all fucking solid up for you.
Man, I actually used his chapsticks on my lip, and it's kind of weirdly salty.
Yeah.
Tastes like snot.
Oh. I can see it. I can see it now.
Yeah, I can see that. But I also can't see him going through the effort.
Hey, man, guys got to do.
He's got too much other shit to do.
How does the saying go? I remember some old boys that always tell us like about like grabbing like horse shit or whatever, and you smear it on your lips, and it's like put this on your lips and never lick them again.
Yeah, that is the saying.
Yeah,
that is the saying.
I've never heard that.
Oh, I'm surprised. That was like a cowboy saying.
Yeah, the old cowboy saying, rub some horse shit on your lips, you'll never lick them again.
Yep.
I can't say I've really had much of an issue with it.
It makes sense, but goddamn, you gotta be desperate.
But how much you really gotta be licking your lips to go to that length?
I don't know, man. It's like
I've been there.
Yeah. I've never put a horse shit on my lips, but there's been times where it's so dry.
And I think the mustache doesn't help with chapped lips, like especially you're drinking beer.
Yeah.
Oh, mustache wax is the best thing ever for chapped lips because it's always there, right there.
It is a good point.
Kinda.
That is a good point.
Since I started using mustache mustache wax I've yet to have chapped lips. Like I've always got some beeswax right there handy.
Yeah,
especially in your heat, like it's just melting all day.
It kind of is. It is, and I buy the strongest mustache wax I can get, and by the end of the day, it just starts to sag. Everything just gets
you look
sad.
like a melted candle.
It's hot and sad.
At least
melted candle.
Here, I'll put it on in the winter, and like when it gets real cold, it'll start like crystallizing back up.
Yep.
And so it'll look like I have a gray mustache, but it's really just beeswax just going back
like
to
icicles.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Or it rains so much, I'll do it when I'm hunting, and it just runs off like Rain-X.
Yeah.
Now y'all don't get just super cold, do you?
Yeah, it gets pretty cold.
It'll be cold
I mean,
when
it's
it hits
pretty
0.
cold.
It's like it'll get mid-20s.
Yeah.
Oh, that isn't cold.
It's pretty
Cold up here, but
It's wet.
The wet sucks.
So it's like it's 25 and raining.
this last winter wasn't too bad, but I remember the previous winter we had a couple days where it was like -10 for about a week, and it fucked with one of our pipes up at the house.
That's fucking cold.
But that was cold.
Yeah, that's there.
But it's
we
only
get
like
down to
maybe
0,
for 2
but
weeks time, right?
Not a lot.
See, and our climate here is a fucking mess anymore. Like, we used to have, like, normal winters and it'd be, like, 10, 15 degrees for, like, a month. We'd have nice snow. And now it's 30 degrees, and then we have a week of 0.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then
Such
it's
a big
back up to, like,
influx these
45.
Yeah, and you guys, that's when, like, fuck, was that like a couple years ago? You guys had that big freeze and is busting a bunch of pipes and everything everywhere?
Dude, Jim Poor was telling me a story about you guys' ice storm out there. Think like this winter or the winter before, where on the road it froze like waves, like up and down like waves, that cars were getting high centered on the ice, and he went out and drove his F450 truck, and the ice was still like skating on the frame of the truck. The waves were that high.
No shit.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, that's gnarly. That's
down in his
Texas shit.
And he's quite a ways south of me. Like, I had never dealt with anything like that. Just like good freezes and pretty good snows and
it's
some
nuts.
of that shit. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Thankfully, we don't get shit like that.
No.
So y'all don't have to like go out and chop ice every day for horses and.
Yeah.
We did this year once.
All right.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate chopping
Not
ice.
too bad. Did you guys see anybody having a rough time at Edgewood with the heat, like passing out or throwing up?
No.
I saw one bloody nose, and somebody else told me, who was it? Somebody got done with their heat and was just like, I'm fucking smoked. Like, I gotta sit down right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nobody gave up. Everybody all was able to finish and everything like that. And I think in the bar shoe day, there was only one bar shoe on the table that didn't get welded. And that was obviously in last place, but everything else was welded up. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Really? For
So
that
it was
many
actually
bar
pretty cool.
shoes, too.
Dude, there were so many shoes on that table. Like, that's got to be a crazy day for old Andrew.
What time did he get done judging? Like, was he still judging when you guys left?
So match play was still going on.
No,
So
because
he was
I was there with the well shot crew, and we left last every day.
Yeah, so he kind of wrapped it up by the time match play was about done.
Yeah.
So he was getting done at like 11:30 to 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
About 11, yeah.
Jeez.
Yep.
That seems like watching him judge that shit in so many shoes, especially like on the, in the categories, and there's so many good shoes. Like, it comes down to just such minute differences. And, like, I can imagine, like, one judge would judge him differently. It's just so close.
Yeah.
That it really has just got to kind of come down to personal preference, and he's the judge hired for that, and I guess you got to stick with that.
Yeah, it's just got to, and it's hard for the judge too, because there'll be times where you're looking at it and you're like, fuck, maybe I do want that to do better, but then you're like, you got to reference your specimen, be like, but the specimen had this, like, and so that's what you have to go off of, is, each time. But it is hard. You got to give all those dudes a fair shake.
Yeah.
I know all the basics met.
you getting lazy in the middle of the pack and not judging that just as thorough as you're judging the top pack, well, that could mean a Cat 1 guy making the top or not making the top. Like, it could fuck them or not fuck them.
No, that looked like a stressful job.
Oh, I wouldn't want to do it. That's what I think. It's like,
I was impressed. I was like, I can't believe you're able to keep all this together. Like,
yeah,
that was cool. Cool of Andrew.
That is a wild deal.
Yeah.
It's funny, Gavin. I messaged you like the second day, and I was like, "Man, you're doing good, badass." And you were like, oh, "I was nervous if I was even gonna make this live shoeing."
It's been 4 years, dude. Like, it's been a while since I've been around, and I was like, "Fuck the bar." That's something I was talking about with Troy last week. Is when you take time away, it seems like the bar just keeps getting raised up and higher and higher and higher. And when you're kind of like not doing that, you are falling behind, And that was something I was worried about, like just kind of falling behind. And I was like, fuck, I just hope I'm able to make the shoeing now, and I surprised the shit out of myself, to be honest.
Oh, hell, you kicked ass.
You're lucky.
You did real well. I mean, you made it look easy.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm serious. Like, watch it like I watched. In novice category, you got all day to watch everybody go. And some people make it look real hard, and some people, like, just everything's thought out. Every hammer blow is deliberate. Like, everything looks put together. And you're one of those dudes. I mean, good job.
I think it definitely is important to run practice goes beforehand. That's a main thing. And that's what's really going to help keep you along and keep you on pace is just run and goes. And that's something I haven't really been good about in the past, but yeah.
I hate to cut my part short, but I'm going to have to get out of here.
That's fine.
One thing I would like to say just about the entire WCB crowd that I tremendously appreciate is everybody there works their ass off.
Yeah.
I mean, horseshoeing in general, like, there are a few outliers, but that's a hard job. Like, you got to work hard.
Yeah.
But then everybody at the contest, like, takes that to another level. Like, there is no person that is lazy or drags ass. And it's just like, and everybody's helpful and inviting. And I just tremendously appreciate the entire crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate everyone else.
That was about it.
Well, thanks for jumping on with us, Ben. And I reckon this is probably a good place to wrap it up. And
all right, y'all have a good one.
Yeah, good job this last week. And
well, thank you.
Thank you to everyone at the WCB this last weekend as well.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You too, Ben. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.